It's been a while since we saw you guys.
It's been a while
We've missed
since
you.
I could
We had a lot of real life things
hold
going
my
on.
head up high.
We hit 350 subscribers. So to the 350 of you who took the time to hit subscribe, we greatly appreciate
We
it.
love you!
So we expect nothing less than 350 views on every video we upload.
Yeah, you better fucking do it.
Because that subscribe button is a commitment.
For those of you with a fear of committal,
Committal.
this is it. We're a team. We're one.
So the first category we are going to cover is video games based on movies. So video game movies have been we've been making video game movies since the 1980s.
Prince of Persia.
Yep, that's one of them, amongst 20 others.
I know, but I was being generous
Prince
and
of
giving an
Persia.
example.
Like, that's the cardinal video game movie. Prince of
Well, it's
Persia.
probably one of the most successful, even though
Is
I don't
it?
really think any of
All
them
right.
are that great.
So,
But you see, what you could have done there, if you wanted to bring something to the table, is maybe throw out another name, just to
all right.
give our viewers
can
a little...
Can I finish the intro at least?
I suppose.
So, video game movies since the 80s, it's a mixed bag. Well, it's a mostly shit bag.
It's a cheap thrill.
It's
Like, you don't
it's
expect
taking
a lot.
something you know has a built-in audience, and it's selling tickets based on a familiar property.
But I feel like when you go into seeing something like that, like Prince of Persia, sorry, when you go into that, you're not expecting an Academy Award winning movie. You're kind of just looking for...
No, but
it's a time filler.
you're expecting an entertaining movie. Okay.
Yeah, but you're not.
So,
You're not expecting
all right.
to be blown off your chair.
Right, but Prince of Persia, even with those expectations, did not do that well. So let's look at some other video game movies. I'm just going to run through a list real quick, and I want you as a viewer to think good or bad, okay? You're probably going to be leaning bad. Super Mario Brothers, the movie. What the fuck? What are the Goombas? Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat. Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, Resident Evil, Doom, Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, Silent Hill, 2 Hitman movies, Max Payne with Marky Mark, and then Prince of Persia.
You know a movie's going to be good when Marky Mark comes to town.
And then recently with Warcraft and Assassin's Creed. And Assassin's Creed had an Oscar-level actor in Michael Fassbender. So... think about that list. How many of those movies do you actually think was a good movie?
Well, you see, I can't speak to Assassin's Creed because is he a quality actor? Of course. But because it was a video game movie, I chose not to even waste my time viewing it.
And why did you choose not to waste your time viewing it?
Because I care more for a quality story.
Right, and you thought that the quality story would not be there in a video game movie.
I mean, it's always
Okay.
hollow.
So, looking at this list, even financially, most of these movies failed.
Yeah, right off the top, the only thing I can think of that was in any way seriously successful is maybe the first Silent Hill.
Yeah,
Well,
I enjoyed the first Silent Hill.
It would have been a great standalone horror movie, even
Yeah.
if it wasn't a video game. And other than that, I mean, the first maybe 1 or 2 Resident Evils were pretty good.
Residence Evils. Partner hotel company to Residence Inn. The evil brother. No, but
You know
seriously...
what? You are an exceptionally large dick today.
Seriously speaking, Resident Evil is objectively the most successful movie
by
on
far,
this list. And
but-
that is simply because it launched a franchise of, 6 freaking movies? 7 movies
yeah,
by
and they're
now?
probably going to make another one, I'm sure.
They're supposedly the one that just came out is called The Final Chapter, which means they'll wait 2 or 3 years before
But look
making
at
another one.
because I mean, look at Fast and Furious.
Oh,
they were
God.
supposed to be on the final
Yeah,
chapter
like 3 times.
a decade ago.
So, Resident Evil, though, the original movie, I actually thought was very well done. It stuck fairly close to the original games. Alice wasn't a character from the games, but sometimes a movie needs to add something to the story, because if you directly take something from a video game story to cinema, it doesn't always translate, because there's a lot of choices the player makes that influence story, and you can't have that in a movie, so you need to add a new dynamic
And you also got to think, I mean, it's going along the same principles as Game of Thrones. I mean, you could adapt that 100% from the book,
Yeah.
but you're going to lose viewership rather quickly when you don't have any original content.
So in the sense of immense detail, it's difficult to fit that into an hour and a half, 2 hour movie. Pretty much all the rest of these, Assassin's Creed, what the hell's going on there? That story's a little messed up in the games to begin with the whole modern storyline.
Yeah, that takes a good hour on Wikipedia of reading the storylines to really kind of put them all together.
So let's take a look at Max Payne for a second. Max Payne, for the first half of the movie, I thought was intriguing, but then they introduced this random liquid drug thing that every character drinks and becomes good at combat, apparently. Where the hell did that come from? Like, when we say we want a new element to put into a movie, it doesn't mean a stupid nonsense element.
Yeah, especially that secret fluid.
Yeah,
that's a common theme in video games.
That everyone steams when they drink it.
Like, there's that one video game, I can't remember the name of it now, but they inject you with this fluid, and then suddenly you can, the guy's arms, mutate on command, and then go back into hands.
Some video games have better stories than others, and it seems like the vast majority of these games are simply franchises that are popular. Warcraft is a good example of that. The story is not that good in Warcraft. It's a weird fantasy, but it's nowhere near Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings type of fantasy.
And that's where you got to take into effect, they shouldn't be making these movies because a video game, more often than not, even the better storied video games, have very weak stories because what makes the game is the interaction with the story, not necessarily the story itself. So once you take out that interaction, then it's like reading a shitty book.
So what I want to pitch is, why can't we choose games that are actually known for their stories? Here are some games that have incredible stories and have been given awards for their stories. Grand Theft Auto, very well known for its storyline, especially the 5th Grand Theft Auto. 3 characters, it would translate well to a movie. Granted, you can't build the world like you can in the game, but it would translate pretty directly. Red Dead Redemption, same idea, same company, big world, very intriguing story.
True Grit was a hit, and I think Red Dead Redemption would actually have a better storyline.
Yep, absolutely. The Last of Us, there's another one. You can get that actress who thinks everyone stole her image to just be in the movie, Ellen Page. And then Skyrim, speaking of fantasy, Skyrim has a rich universe, and I would actually like to see a movie that occurs in the Elder Scrolls universe rather than just Skyrim itself.
Not to mention, the possibilities with something like the Elder Scrolls series is infinite, because every time you play one of those games, even in the small, non-influential conversations that you have with some of the characters that literally just say one sentence and that's it, gives you little tidbits to the world that's not included in the game but is connected to it, that make you believe that there might be something intriguing if you could go there or see it.
And the thing is, I do believe it took a while for cinema to be able to adapt books properly. So I think it will take a while to figure out how to adapt video games well. But you have some games that are awesome, like The Witcher. Granted, they were books first, but that is another amazing storyline that would translate. So what I want to see is, I want to see movie studios take a little bit more risk, pick more standalone games or games that are a bit more deep, rather than picking franchises because they know they will sell tickets.
Or even like what you said with the Elder Scrolls, pick something that you don't even need to have a storyline. You're picking a raw universe that you can morph in your own direction. Because Skyrim, or any of the Elder Scrolls, you can write your own story and just use the universe. There's no thing holding you down.
So that would be very intriguing, and that would also give people who've played the game but maybe not particularly want to watch a version of it, they could see, maybe tie it into a game. There's a lot of possibilities there. So as the viewer, what games do you think translate the best to cinema, and do you agree with us in our opinions of writing a standalone script within a game universe?
I could just look into your eyes all day.
Consider subscribing.